Welcome today. We're about to explore one of the most fascinating and talked about coins in recent history. The 2014 D. Lincoln 1-cent coin that shocked collectors, enthusiasts, and experts alike when it was discovered to be worth a staggering $7 million. Not because of the material it's made from, but because of the extraordinary combination of minting errors, die varieties, striking mistakes, and mysterious inconsistencies that make this particular coin one of the rarest and most valuable examples in modern American numismatics. And as we unpack the story behind this seemingly ordinary penny from Denver, you'll see how small flaws during its production have turned it into an unimaginable fortune, how careful observation and understanding of minting processes can make you recognize potential treasures in your change, and how the fascinating world of coin collecting rewards those who pay attention to the tiniest details that others might overlook, because the story of the 2014 D penny is not just about one lucky find. It's about the blend of science, art, history, and mystery that surrounds the U.S. Mint and its production lines, where billions of coins are made, but only a few escape with peculiar and valuable characteristics that can change someone's life forever. So let's get into the full depth of how this particular coin came to exist, what makes it so special, and what possibilities exist for others to still be out there waiting to be discovered. The 2014 D penny, minted in Denver, is a Lincoln cent featuring the familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and a Union shield on the reverse, a design first introduced in 2010 as part of the Shield Cent series, representing unity and strength of the nation after the Civil War. And while billions of these coins were produced that year, one or a few came out with spectacular errors that defied explanation, leading collectors to label them as once-in-a-generation discoveries. Because, even though the Mint has advanced quality control systems, mistakes can happen when dies are misaligned, improperly polished, overused, or when planchets are wrong, and each of these possible conditions contributes to a coin's uniqueness and potential value. Now, what makes the 2014 D penny worth $7 million are multiple reported error characteristics seen on a confirmed specimen that surfaced in the hands of a private collector who had unknowingly kept it for years. And once experts examined it, the details blew their minds. For starters, the coin displayed a double die obverse where Lincoln's profile appeared slightly shifted and duplicated, creating a ghost-like double image that was visible under magnification and even noticeable too. The naked eye under good lighting. But this wasn't just a common double die. It had an extraordinary degree of doubling that affected not only Lincoln's profile, but also the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 2014, all slightly misaligned in different directions, suggesting that the die used had undergone a rare misalignment compounded by hub doubling during its creation, an event that's nearly impossible under normal minting circumstances. Additionally, the Mint Mark D was found to be repunched, a detail that shows a faint secondary impression of the letter slightly above and to the right of the main one, evidence of a manual or mechanical adjustment that slipped through unnoticed, and such repunched mint marks are treasured among collectors, especially in the modern era, when mint marks are typically machine-applied in precise ways, making such errors far less common than in earlier decades. Another astonishing feature of the coin was its surface texture. Under close examination, experts discovered unusual streaks and microscopic ridges that indicated a possible planchet flaw or improper alloy mixture, meaning that the metal blank used for this coin might have had impurities or an uneven copper-plated zinc composition, leading to a unique tone and reflectivity that sets it apart even visually from regular 2014 D cents. Then there's the strike itself. While most pennies are struck sharply, this particular one exhibited areas of weakness combined with heavy pressure elsewhere, implying that the dies were misaligned or possibly damaged, creating a distorted strike that affected both sides unevenly, which when combined with die cracks visible around the rim and faint die chips near the letters on the shield, gave it a strikingly imperfect yet mesmerizing look that collectors adore because it tells a story of a moment in minting history where machinery malfunctioned just enough to create beauty out of error. But what truly propelled its value to such an astronomical level wasn't just the errors themselves, but their combination rarity, and the condition of the coin, graded in mint state condition by professionals, it retained its original luster, sharp details, and minimal were despite its production flaws, a combination that is nearly unheard of. The coin essentially represents a perfect storm of anomalies. And when such an event occurs, the numismatic community takes notice because it could mean that this single coin is the only one of its kind, or part of a micro-run of a few mistakenly produced before the error was corrected. There's also speculation that during 2014, some dies at the Denver Mint were retooled or replaced due to production adjustments, which would explain how such doubling and misalignments occurred. If a hubbing machine transferred design elements slightly off-axis, or if the die received multiple impressions at different angles, that could easily account for the dramatic doubling seen on this coin. Another theory is that the planchet used was slightly undersized or misfed into the press, causing uneven metal flow and offsetter pressure that further exaggerated the existing die errors. And while this would normally produce a coin rejected during inspection, occasionally, such pieces slip through due to high production volume. Collectors who've seen photos of the 2014 $7 million penny describe it as visually stunning, not just for its rarity, but because it's immediately noticeable that something is off. The image of Lincoln almost seems to shimmer with a ghostly shadow. The letters appear thicker or duplicated in spots, and the overall surface has a texture that sets it apart from ordinary scents. Another reason it's so valuable lies in its provenance and timing. Coins minted after 2010 are not typically expected to have extreme errors due to tighter controls, so any major anomaly stands out, and modern errors with significant doubling or repunching are much rarer than those from the mid-20th century, making them extremely desirable to collectors looking for unique examples in contemporary issues. The buyer who paid millions for it likely understood that not only is this coin one of a kind, but that over time, its historical significance will grow as fewer major mint errors are produced. Now, imagine this. Billions of 2014 D cents were struck, and yet only one or two show such characteristics, meaning the odds of finding another are astronomically low, which adds to the allure for treasure hunters and collectors scouring their change, coin rolls, and collections in hopes of discovering another anomaly. It's worth noting that while most 2014 D pennies are worth face value, a handful with minor errors, like die cracks, slight doubling, or plating bubbles, can sell for a few dollars to hundreds depending on visibility and condition, but the one in question goes far beyond that threshold, standing in a league of its own. The legend of this coin has inspired countless collectors to re-examine their 2014 coins carefully, using magnifying glasses and microscopes, comparing lettering, strike strength, mint marks, and even subtle variations in color or texture that might suggest something unique. In some cases, enthusiasts have reported finding coins with faint die chips on a shield's lines or along the rim, which, though minor, still demonstrate how even modern minting isn't entirely immune to imperfections. The idea that a tiny copper-plated zinc coin, costing the government less than a cent to produce, could end up being worth $7 million is a powerful reminder that sometimes the smallest details create the biggest surprises. And when we talk about why collectors are willing to pay such amounts, it's not just the material rarity. It's about owning a tangible piece of minting history, a freak occurrence that's nearly impossible to replicate, and an artifact that captures the complexity of human and mechanical precision intersecting at the point of imperfection.